I'd like to ask the question. You find yourself dating. So one of the points that I've made before is, do you admire the individual that you're dating? I want to dig into this a little bit more tonight. Do you respect the person you are dating? Is there mutual respect between both of you? You might be thinking, if I didn't respect the person I was dating, why in the world would I be with him? Why in the world would I be with her? There's a difference between respect and what we call admiration. When infatuated, people tend to look at each other with all adoring, he's so amazing and she's so amazing eyes. True respect means accepting them and honoring their thoughts and feelings in all ways. Admiration, on the other hand, magnifies their problems more. This tunnel vision can convince you that the person you're dating is perfect for you. The trickiest part of admiration is that it feels like respect. Indeed, you seem to be looking at up to this person, but in reality, it's an illusion. The essential meaning of the word respect is to look at, from Latin. And it just means just that. We can only respect the person if we're looking at and relating to who she is or who he is. Infatuation blocks our ability to truly see who they really are. Without true vision, which includes a realistic understanding of how different this person might be from us, respect is impossible. The difference between puppy admiration and respect is when we respect someone, we see and appreciate them for the unique qualities that they have. The ability to do this increases in marriage if both partners choose to focus on the benefits of their differences. Remember, no two people are identical or alike. This is one of the essential signs of a mature marriage, the acceptance and appreciation of a couple's differences. Now, is it possible to be too similar? Yes. Usually when a couple are too similar, they feel that the relationship gets stuck. A couple of common complaints that we hear from people who are too similar are, this is ridiculous, we both need someone to draw us out of ourselves. We are both somewhat introverted, this isn't going anywhere. Or I know that I get emotional, but so does he. I tend to dramatize, but I think he's even worse. There's way too much emotional energy here. I don't know if we would survive a marriage, but one thing is for sure, even if we did, our children would not. That's the cases of where there's too much similarity. We think that the point is clear. Similarities can get in the way. Therefore, a couple should check that their values match up, that the differences they perceive in each other are not too great, and that their similarities create symmetry, not nausea or imbalance. How do we check your respect quotient? If you're not sure if you really respect the person you're dating, ask yourself the following questions. Number one, can I see that the person that I'm dating is different from me? If so, how? How do I determine, can I see clearly that he's different, that he or she is different from me? Number two, can I list the benefits of marrying a person who has these qualities? Three, what are the strengths of the person I'm dating? And do I enjoy them? Do I appreciate their strengths? Four, what are his or her weaknesses? Can I respect and accept him or her with these weaknesses? And that's key, because no one is perfect. Five, what are their values? What is his values? What are her values? Do I respect and appreciate them? What are his or her goals? Do I respect and appreciate their goals? What are his or her interests? Do I respect and appreciate their interests? The person I'm dating inspires me to be more what? Ultimately, the person that you're dating, the person you'll marry, should inspire you, should motivate you to reach your top potential, should see the good in you, and should always boost you, boost your faith in yourself. Now, quite often people in the grip of infatuation might not pay attention to blatant signs that the person they're dating doesn't respect them. A number of women have said that men that they've dated who might be better educated or smarter in some ways have said things like, oh, you wouldn't understand this article, so why should I even bother talking about it with you? It's above your head. Or why are you so interested in my thesis? Or you don't know a thing about politics. They put up with these statements because they were so attracted to the men they were dating. They didn't want to face the facts until the statements became intolerable. Likewise, many men have shared their pain and frustration when women have said things like to them, that restaurant is probably too pricey for a guy like you. Or you probably would never confront someone about a poorly done job. You're simply too nice. Some might argue that true respect, respect that is tried and tested, only develops after years of commitment in marriage. They argue that it takes years of work to accept the other person's separateness, learning to love him or her the same way. Although this may be true, there must be a basis for respect right from the beginning when you're dating. You can't assume that you're going to respect each other later. If you don't see mutual respect in dating, in your dating courtship, you got to get out of it. There are certain gaps that can threaten respect in a relationship. For example, if there's a big education gap, that's a problem. You have to be careful. That is a potentially serious red flag. If the woman is more educated, she has to be especially careful. When a woman feels like she's smarter than the man she's with, she tends to step all over him. We've seen this. We remember a particular couple where the woman was a smarter, sharper, and more educated person than the man she was dating. We warned her about this, but the infatuation was so great, she didn't want to hear it. She insisted that his other qualities were more important to her. As she tried to convince the dating mentor, we told her she was trying to convince herself as well, and that's not healthy. After they married, she slowly began to badger her husband with endless insults. She was annoyed that he wasn't ambitious as she was. She was bothered by the fact that her paycheck was twice the size of his paycheck. She knew that she would be making double his salary when she first met him, so why did she overlook it? Infatuation took over. The only thing that changed was that when the infatuation wore off, her eyes were opened real wide. Unfortunately, she continued to harass him with insults, and they eventually suffered a huge and bitter and disgusting divorce. We should add that we've seen these women who are smarter than their husbands and don't step all over them. There are exceptional women. However, in all cases, these women are still able to respect their husbands. A large age gap is another potential red flag. In our experience, if the man is up to 10 years older, it's usually not a problem. But after 10 years, you have to be more cautious. And I would say that's accurate. Up to 10 years can work. A husband and wife must feel like equals in order to have a healthy relationship. Obviously, if he's way beyond her in life experience and maturity, he's going to look down on her. We'd like to share an insight from an ancient Jewish philosophy that sheds some light on the subject. In Pirkei Avos, which is Ethics of Our Fathers, there's a saying that goes, "Aseh lecha rav," make for yourself a mentor or a teacher. Acquire for yourself a friend, and be sure to judge everyone favorably. Besides being a good source of advice, these words also teach us about 3 different types of relationships everyone should have in their life. Relationship number 1 is mentor. You have to have teachers and mentors who guide you in life, who teach you. Relationship number 2 is friends or peers. These are your equals. They tend to be at similar stages in life to ours. Sometimes we cry in their shoulders, sometimes they cry in our shoulders. We confide in them and they confide in us. And mentorees, those are the people that we teach, that we pass the baton on to. We'd like to say that our husband and wife fit into the second category of friends. Although there are times when either a husband or a wife can act as a mentor, essentially the relationship of marriage should be one of peers, of equals. The couple must therefore relate to each other as equals. If he's much older, this equal friendship will not exist. For example, if a woman marries her teacher or professor, she may be awed initially by his knowledge, but sooner or later she's going to feel that she just doesn't measure up to him. She'll feel inferior in a very big way. That being said, there certainly are couples who have a 15-year age gap and it works in a healthy way, but it's exceptional and there's a lot of hard work involved. What if she's the one who's older? Well, it depends on how mature the man is. If she's a year or 2 older, the difference may not be noticed. But if she's 4 or 5 years older, he would have to be extraordinarily mature in order to be a healthy partner in marriage. Otherwise, guess who's playing mommy? And ultimately, the couple must ask themselves, is there mutual respect? Does she really respect him? If not, they might end up mistreating each other. A large social class gap can also threaten a relationship. We once spoke with a woman named Alyssa, a woman who illustrated this point. She confessed that she had trouble dating guys who were more wealthy because she couldn't respect them. She sincerely wished that she could date a great guy without big money. As our conversation progressed, she finally realized what the real problem was. She didn't want to repeat her parents' marriage. I recently received a phone call from an older woman in Europe who wanted to date in America, who said to me, I don't care if he's 20 or 25 years older than me, as long as he's rich. Boy, was she living in a life of fantasy. And as you know, that didn't work out. I couldn't represent such an individual. She had no clue, she had no interest at all in a person's midos or his age, as long as he was wealthy. So we have to be careful not to fall in that. So if there's are there people from upper class families who are happily married to people from lower class families? Of course. But it does take a lot of work, and not everyone is prepared to do this kind of work. If you're considering a spouse from a different social class, you must do some sober thinking. Sober thinking means seeing beyond the infatuation and looking at the respect factor. Start by asking yourself the following questions. Are you both ready to break out of your mentalities? Are you willing to put up with different habits? Can you both agree on how to define luxury versus necessity? Social class differences can also play out on a smaller scale, such as differences in table manners. But these seemingly insignificant habits can be destructive. In 2005, a study which was fascinating was conducted by the United States government's National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. The study looked at the phenomenon of being irked by one's spouse's disgusting or uncouth habits. Some people call this phenomenon social allergies. The research shows that these allergies can lead to divorce. In the early stages of a relationship, a person might dismiss a habit as unimportant or even cute. I've had a person come to me, a couple that had recently got married within a few months, and the wife was disgusted by his eating habits, that he put his hands into the plate all the time, and it made her nauseous. and I had to call them and call them out for it and sit and fix it up before they have a serious problem. Okay. For example, if someone tends to eat fast and sloppily due to being so busy doing important things, this can be looked at with adoring eyes. But once the infatuation wears off, the habit could be rather grating and gets on your nerves. One of the key ingredients in a healthy and happy marriage is mutual respect. You both need it. You both deserve it. So it pays to take the time and energy to take a good look and make sure that when you're dating, that what you're looking for in terms of midos, quality of character, and no gaps exist. Thank you so much for the opportunity to have made this presentation tonight. As I always state at the end of the lecture, anybody who would like my help in any way in dating or shalom bayis, or in terms of getting you a match, in terms of acting as your matchmaker, or would like my help in evaluating a shidduch, you can reach me from anywhere in the world. Just simply call me or text me or WhatsApp me at 305-206-1916 or email me at drjackcohen18@gmail.com. Have a wonderful week and a great Shabbos. Thank you.